so much for clicking on our video. My name is Skyly and I am the founder of Forever Counts Real Estate Group. If you've clicked on this video, it means that you are looking to brainstorm with other entrepreneurs, you are looking to grow your business, and that is so exciting because we want to collaborate with you. That is the whole point of the collaborative mastermind movement that we have created. So thank you again for clicking on the video. I hope you find tremendous value in every video that you watch, and I'm excited to have you on this journey with us. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to go over is called a SWOT analysis, which is kind of a funny term for it, I guess. But at the end of the day, we want to identify our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities that we think that we can tackle, and then any threats to our current business. And again, I know that we have a mortgage broker in the house, and we also have Rachel that does photography. You guys can cater this to your business pretty easily. So even if what I'm talking about doesn't pertain to you exactly, just try and cater it to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So like I said, what are your strengths? So say, for example, we're going to go over DISC assessments in the future as well. So a DISC assessment is like a personality test. So if I'm just going to be talking about myself, for example, my strengths would be, I'm a high D and a high I, which means that I have it's a dominant personality, but I'm also, the I stands for someone who, Callie, what's the word? You're a high I too. You like people. Influence. What did you say?
It says influence. That's what it stands for.
Yes. It's just someone who likes to talk or is good with other people, stuff like that. So when I'm thinking about like my strengths personally, I'm going to probably put that I have like leadership roles that I can handle, that I'm really good at talking to people, stuff like that. So if you have strengths in there, like if you're analytical and you're really good at being organized, you're going to put that in there. Obviously, if you aren't very organized, I am not an organized person in the slightest, then I'm going to put that in the weakness category. So I would just go through here and try and add things in here that you need to work on, and then your strengths as well. So what else could we put in here? Like I said, if you're really good with people, if you're really good with organization, what if you're really good with like videography, or if you're really good with photography, maybe you have like a really creative eye. If you're good at problem solving, I guess that's one that you can put in there. Where do you guys rate yourselves on like communication? Does anyone have anything different than what I've kind of mentioned that you can throw out there for people?
I think it's important to maybe acknowledge if you are good under pressure, especially in real estate.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
So that happens a lot, especially right now. Through negotiations and
and then not only that, you just kind of triggered me to think about like accountability. Like, are you good at holding yourself accountable? Time management.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, do you have anything to add?
Responsiveness
and opportunities. I feel like that kind of falls into the weakness category as well, because even though you have a weakness, I feel like there are always opportunities for growth as well. So I mean, sometimes you can even double dip in that category, in my opinion. If you wanted, like I said, I'm not organized in the slightest. Tend to fly by the seat of my pants, and I feel like that's obviously like an opportunity for growth as well. Is that if I wanted to dial that in, then obviously you can grow from that, learn from other people. I feel like I already said time. Did I say time management already? Because I feel like that's like a really important, well, especially with being a business owner. We're all business owners. It doesn't matter if we're a realtor or like just in like a sister industry, but I feel like that's a really big one, time management. I actually had a girlfriend of mine who is so good at time management. She was explaining to me how to like delegate like things that are important and urgent, not important, and then like delegate and like just forget about it. And
can you bring her on here? Can she?
Yeah,
teach us that?
Yeah, I was gonna. I was talking to it's Stacy. I was talking to her about coming to be a guest too. But she was really good. She like broke it down for me because I think I was like so frazzled. This was a few years ago, and she's like, "Girl, I got you."
I admire people that are like that so much. I aspire to be
that
organized.
Okay. And then the threat category is a little bit it's not complicated. However, it is kind of hard to think of something that falls into this category. So the threat category, what do you think brings a threat to your business? So, I mean, for us, like what do you lay in bed at thinking about keeping you up at night that like, holy shit, what if this happens to my business? And so for real estate, like I'm thinking like, what if the market crashes, right? Like that's obviously something that's out of our control. It's a threat. There's nothing we can do about it if it crashes. However, there are things that we can do to be better agents so that if the market does crash, we aren't in the pool of people who get pushed aside and not used. Because there's always an 80-20 rule when it comes to any business. And that is that 20% of the people in the industry do the majority of the business. So if we can be in the top people in the industry, then no matter what threat kind of comes our way, we still will still be okay. So even when Fort Mac crashes, people are moving and there's no industry there anymore, people are still needing to buy and sell their real estate in order to move. So we need to be at the top of our game so that people hire us instead of our competitor, right? Is there anything else that you guys can think of that might be like a threat to your business that maybe like that I haven't touched on?
Sometimes I think about a lot being viewed in a bad light with social media, and I just get really nervous about that stuff. Sometimes I don't know. I get worried about, should I post this or not post that? And just, I don't know. That's a struggle for me sometimes.
I have one for us, well, for realtors anyways. Everyone thinking that what we do is really, really easy. So then they should be able to do it. And that would be for sale by owners.
Yeah, that would be a threat for sure.
I think like unpredictable clients, quite often they'll like just do something that ruins everything.
So lack of control over
people, just people in general.
That's actually really true. You know what happened to me? This was years ago. And I was like, it was totally not my fault. I'm going to say that. I usually will take the blame if it is my fault. You can ask the girls on the team because nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. The important thing is that you learn from your failures. However, this was not mine. There was a house that I was selling and he was renting, and I always try and close halfway through the month on a rental, or like give them a couple weeks leeway. Cause I'm like, okay, if you pay your rent on the 1st and then you take possession on like the 15th, you gave your month's notice, and then you have 2 weeks to move, clean your old place. You do it leisurely. It's just super easy, bo breezy. Okay. Anyways, this one guy decided that he was going to give half a month's notice. Ended up being that this is another lesson learned. We were closing on a Friday. You guys always close on a Thursday. Don't close on a Friday. Okay. Because if something goes sideways at the lawyer's office, now you're waiting till Monday. And so what ended up happening is that 15th fell on the Friday and we were closing on a Friday, and then it didn't close. And he was like, well, you're putting me up in a hotel for a weekend. And I was like, you should still have your rental because I told you to give a month's notice, and he wanted to save half a month's rent. And so there's that unpredictable thing you were talking about, Eden, where it's like you give advice and then they don't listen because they're unpredictable. And then now it's like a threat to your business because what if they blasted me on social media?
Yeah, bad word of mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially in this business, like little things like that can.
Oh my God, it was wild.
Yeah.
I think in real estate, even in like, if you're a mortgage broker, you're a photographer, you're a realtor, you're always worrying about like bad reviews, bad word of mouth. And that kind of ties into everything. Like, what did you post something that was a little too political on social media? Was someone not happy with what they got and you felt you dealt with it properly, but maybe they didn't? And I think that's always a worry for me all the time. I'm always trying to make sure I talk with exclamation marks and texting, and like I'm over exclamation marks. And
me too.
Yeah, I think that's a huge worry. But that's good though, because I'll tell you, sometimes I get emails from realtors and I'm like, well, hi, how are you? Good day.
Like, yeah, eating your cornflakes this morning, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I know. And I feel like messages, because we do live in a world before everything, like everyone did pick up the phone. You were always talking on the phone and you could read tonality and you were always in person and you could read body language. And then now that we're in such a technology-based world, we're dealing with like lots of emails and text messages. And especially if you're dealing with a demographic, I don't know where the cutoff is because I feel like it's a lot of my generation as well. But I mean, even in like your early 20s or the first time home buyers that are kind of coming up right now, they don't want to talk on the phone. They'll call and then they'll text you like, hey, who is this? And I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk to me. Anyways, and you have to be very careful with the tonality of your text messages, because if you don't want to come across point blank, right? You don't want to be like K period, because then they'll think that they're like, oh, okay, you're kind of emotionally cold, right? Like you want them to feel like I feel like it's a little bit dangerous that we are coming into a bit of a technology-based industry.
Yeah, that's so funny. I feel like different generations are so different over text. Like I had a client who loved to use like ... And to me, that's like, you are unsure and you're not saying something. And to her, that's like, she just didn't use a period. She just always used ... So for months, I was like, she's unhappy.
You're like,
yeah, it's just how she checks.
I hate that. It makes it sound so cryptic. It's like,
yes.
Is there another meaning to that?
Yeah.
My aunt
What are
uses
you
it
not
all
saying?
the time.
Yeah. And like same with other realtors when they're just like, is this still available or whatever? Like, no, hey, it's so-and-so. How are you? Like a little welcoming sentence goes such a long ways. And I know that we get so busy, but like makes a world of a difference until you've built a relationship with someone. Like you need to like be really conscious of how you speak.
Yeah. I feel like coming to that too is being like really authentic as well. Cause I mean, you're right. We can be super fast to like send a message. And I mean, like, I am not super great at it either. Although I feel like most people that I would do that to, like you said, I have a relationship with already. Although at the same time, I'm ridiculous. I'll be like, hey girlfriend, is this available? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but being yourself, I feel like is one of the number one things that I learned coming into the industry. I put on this like persona when I first started. Cause I remember the first person that I interviewed with, they're like, you need to dress like the Suits people from the TV. I mean, I was young when I first started. I was 21. They were like telling me that I had to be a certain thing. And I think the number one thing that I've learned most is literally just to be yourself and be authentic, because people trust that more than they trust like a fake persona. So, I mean, sometimes I'll even be like, yo, is so-and-so available? And it's like not professional, but then at the same time, like,
that's you. And we talked about that before, Skyly. Remember, I think what I've learned mostly in my business was so important with building client relations. Like people buy into a person more than they're going to buy into a product.
Yeah.
Always. They're going to buy you. You know, I have locations in Calgary and coming up into Kamloops and Vancouver. And because I started in Calgary and I really worked on the ground marketing, building relations and friendships with all my clients, I can't keep up with it because it's so busy. And Vancouver, I just kind of let my marketing girl do everything for me on social media. And it's not the same because they don't know me and they're buying a product. And it's like that. So it's proven people buy a person more than they buy a product, for sure.
Yeah. True. So, I mean, even talking about that too, Jamie, with your social media, I'm like, if honestly, do you want to work with the people who are going to be judging you about your social media posts? Probably
I don't
not.
know.
I mean, obviously don't post political like COVID stuff or like your political view, but like if they don't like you based on like, oh, you put too many emojis in your freaking caption, then I guess that's a them problem.
You're like,
that's
that's
a good
me.
point. Yeah.
I like emojis.
But thinking about all of this back to the threat thing is like that we always feel like we need to be something else, right? So I mean, that could be one of the threats too, is that there is like this perception of what you are supposed to be. It is a big threat, but we obviously need to combat that by just being our authentic selves, because like we said, that obviously is more important and people actually value that more than you trying to be someone you're not. I feel like people see right through it anyway, but there is a pressure to be something different.
There is. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have a lot of stuff on here? Does anyone else want to show and share any of their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats with the group? Just the reason I'm saying that is because you might have thought of something that someone else would want to have on their page that maybe they didn't even think about. So
what did people put for opportunities?
I did anything on opportunities yet.
My opportunity was based off of a threat. So the threat was the no clients market crash. So the opportunity was to always be creative in generating your business.
I like that one.
And then I have a weakness that I want to throw out there because I'm curious if it's just me or not. I'm very slow to like jump on opportunities. Like I overthink things and I overanalyze it before I do anything. Whereas Skyly's very like fly by the seat of her pants and it totally works.
Like I
You
think
also fly by the seat of your pants?
yeah. And then I actually put on there, I didn't really know how else to describe it. I said tendency to have too many ideas at once.
Oh,
So that was
yeah.
your weakness too then? Or?
Good one. Yeah.
So then as a strength, I look at it as like I'm creative and I have a pretty like creative mind, open mind, always kind of daydreaming. But then at the same time, it is a weakness because like I have a tendency to not put enough focus into one project. And I'm kind of myself out thin.
One that you have brought my attention to is one of my weaknesses that I am working on is delegating, because I like to take on too many things myself. And actually, I was reading this book the other day and it said that procrastination isn't always the fact that you're just procrastinating because you don't want to do it. You're procrastinating because you don't know how. They're like, if there's something that you have an idea for and then you're not doing it because like you just don't have the capacity to actually like organize it, because I'm not organized, then it's like you should delegate it to somebody who is organized and actually has the capacity to figure out how to do it. So there's something that I've been wanting to work on with the team, which is like creating lots of videos and like marketing tools. Right. And I've been procrastinating. It's been like a year thing, a year of procrastinating, but it's not because I don't want to do it. It's not that I don't know how. It's that I don't have the capacity to actually organize it at this time in my life. So weakness is delegating. And I really need to like be better at like, I don't know if you guys are good at delegating, but I'm not.
That's huge. Honestly, if you can outsource, I outsource lots of stuff for things that I can't, like even invoicing. Invoicing it's 2 seconds to make an invoice. It might as well take 10 years for me because I just don't want to do it. I just hate it. So I hired someone literally just to do my invoices.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that for you guys' spin track or writing listing descriptions, like stuff like that, because that could be the difference of putting up a listing and it taking you 2 or 3 hours or 1 hour. And then what's your time worth? You could be doing other things to grow your business during those times.
That's how I convinced myself to get a Roomba.
There you go.
Exactly.
Those are awesome.
I have a cleaning lady because I'm like, I would rather pay her $100 every other week and have a super clean house where I'm more productive and I'm closing more deals per year and it pays for itself. Like if it's going to take me more time to do it than for a professional to do it, whose time is worth less than mine, why would I do it myself? Like I'm literally losing money by doing it myself.
Very true. So funny. Anyone else have anything? No, we're good to move to the next one. So now we are kind of going down to the business plan. So the why, normally we do this 5-step why, and the team freaking hates it, I think, because it's like the most annoying thing in the entire planet. It's like the kid that always is like, but why? But why? But why? But why? So we're not going to do that today, even though it is kind of entertaining, me being like the annoying 3-year-old that's asking you why you have this business. But if you can just like try not to be superficial about it and in what your why is, you really do need to think about why you are in this business, because the deeper why you have, the more energy you're going to have to put into your business. Because if you have just something superficial, like I want to make a lot of money, that's totally fair. However, why do you want to have a lot of money? Is it you want to have free time for your family? Is it you want to give value to others? Is it you want to be able to travel the world and give back to third world countries? Like there's got to be something intrinsic, is that the word? Motivation wise, in order for you to be able to do a business and run a business that obviously takes a lot of energy. So try and think of your why and try and dig relatively deep without me being an annoying 3-year-old.
I actually surprised myself and came up with a few really quick.
Do you want to share it with us?
As soon as you said, are we doing the my why or the next one?
If you have a why, that would be sweet.
Well, one of them was for me, autonomy, like just to be able to self-govern and run my own business the way I want to, and not have, I mean, of course I have a million bosses at the end of the day, but I have my own ability to do what I need to do in my business and like use my creativity, use my like diagnostic skills and different things like that. And it's all on me. I don't have anyone kind of like telling me what to do. I like that. And financial freedom is, I guess, would be that the final goal for or not the final goal, but it's a big why. It's not just the money, but just being, and I don't want to have a ton of money, but I want to have enough to take time and to travel and to not worry about money as much.
Totally.
If that makes sense.
Don't work 40 years of our lives to wake up at the end of it and be like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Enjoy it along the way. You don't just like work your whole life to retire and then have no retirement savings. And so like money is a big thing. It's just like you said, you need a reason as to why you want the money. Because I mean, money is not everything, but if it can help you get to where you want to go so that you can have the premium experiences along the way, then that's obviously like a good tool to help you, you know what I mean? Like fulfill your life.
It's motivating too. And equality, that was a big one too for me, like coming into this industry. I love how the women, like surrounding myself with other women who are like genuine, creative, and like actually want you to succeed. It doesn't feel like, obviously not everyone's like that, but I do find that in this group for sure. And in my, like with my brokerage and stuff, there's just so much of that. And it's a huge reason why for me, because coming out of education, I was in research and education before, and it's very like male dominated. Sorry, Zach, not you, but competitive. And it created this situation where women were more competitive with each other and less supportive. And then somehow this industry is also very competitive, but I don't get the same vibe at all from anyone so far.
Well, the tables have turned in this meeting. Let's just say that.
What'd you say?
The tables have turned in this meeting. Let's just say that.
Actually, no, quite a few guys in it, and I'm surprised that like no one else is here. Like Denver was supposed to be here too, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Right. It used to be a very male dominated industry, and it's like definitely fanned out. I feel like a lot of the new realtors coming in, and like Zach, you are newer as well, but I feel like the newer agents are again like new generation, and that we are all willing to collaborate more so now. Because I feel like old school mentality was that it is like a male dominated industry. And then moving forward, obviously, like everybody who's in like more of our age demographic, we are more open to like having females in leadership roles, right? And then we also have, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely like fanned out more so now, and I think it's more of like a new generation thing. As
totally, like I had written down equality. That it's just nice, and I meant that for everything. It's just we have equal pay in this industry. Like there's just because you're a woman or a man, you're not going to make more on a listing or whatever. And the same thing goes for me as a mortgage broker. Like I'm still going to get paid the same as anyone else in the industry, male, female, or whatever.
Skill set, which is awesome. I think I love this industry too, because there's no ceiling. That was the thing. Like for those of you who don't know me from when I was like early 20s, I have worked 2 jobs since I was like 15 years old. And I always was trading dollars for hours, and there was only so many hours in a day. And I remember Tony and I used to work together at Shoppers Drug Mart, and when I graduated, I was working at Shoppers Drug Mart full-time, going to university, working in a Chinese food place, serving and ripping the tags to put stickers up every week. And I remember being so burnt out, and I made like $800 every 2 weeks. It was like so hard to get by. And I remember there's only so many hours in a day. And honestly, I have converted to be work smarter, not harder. Efficiency is key. And I love that this industry has the capability of doing that, because I get to raise my kids now. I get to be at all of the jujitsu tournaments. I get to like, my husband stays home. We're not married yet, but he's the guy who follows me around, and everyone thinks that he's crazy. But like, I don't want to be at home with the kids. I mean, I love them to death, but I don't. And this literally gets me up every single morning, because I feel like there is no ceiling. You get to have your cake and eat it too. While it is a lot of energy going into like the business, it's exciting and it's new, and you're always learning something. And I get to hang out with all you guys, which is kind of cool too. We always get to collaborate and make each other better. Does anyone else want to share their why, or should we just move on to the next one?
I just found it kind of funny because everything that Jake said, I had also said, just like in a different way, like all of the points. Like for me, I said, I like having my own business. It allows me to flex my creativity. I don't have someone telling me how and when to do things. I get to be home with my family, and I'm happier because I'm doing what I love, working with like-minded people. And it just like makes me feel proud to own my own business. And I was going to say too, like when I used to be a server, which is all I did for years from when I was 15 to like 29, I would feel like I was good at my job and it was good money, but like all day, like I would just feel like anxiety and sick about having to like go, and I'd be fine once I got there. And it's really nice not having that feeling anymore.
I love too that we get to like build on the skills that we are more interested in. Like I have a stats and econ background, and so I get real nerdy about like broader pictures of the market and all that kind of stuff. And as other people like would prefer to do lots of marketing, and you can really just like hone in on your interests and your skills.
Zach, what was it that you did before real estate?
I was in electrical, and then I was up north. So that was hell.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, I would never want to work in north. That's what made you just real estate though.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have a pretty overbearing family that likes to tell me what to do, even though I'm grown up with a family of my own and kids. I don't know, like it was always like they were proud when I was in real estate, and and then there's a hesitation on all the decisions, like the big decisions in life and stuff like that. And so it's like, when I got married young and I had kids young, and it was like, oh, why don't you think this through kind of thing. And so I guess it's like, to kind of sum it up, it's like proving people wrong, I guess, to show people that, I can do my own thing and I can do it. So it's been pretty cool to see, like, even with like a little bit of success at the start and stuff, that like, I can kind of like tell people, hey, like, this is a real thing. And so that's been pretty nice. Yeah, I guess.
That's cool. All of my family said I shouldn't get into real estate. I don't know if anyone else had the same thing happen. Yeah. Everyone was like, nope, you shouldn't do it. It's commission based. You're going to have a hard time. I mean, I grinded years. I mean, everybody who gets into the business, it's a 3 to 5 year haul. So don't give up. You're just starting. But they literally were like, nope, it's not good. And then it's funny because now that it's good, they're like, oh, we knew it would be good for you. Anyways, I agree, Zach. I think that I kind of went after it too because they said that I couldn't do it. And then I'm like, Okay, so measurable activity. This is the activities that you would do on a daily basis in order to help you get to where you want to go. So things for the real estate industry. I'm not sure how you guys could feel like maybe you can actually switch this to be part for like mortgage broker and the photography industry too. So for measurable activities for us, we're like, okay, I need to check the hot sheet every day. I need to make 20 phone calls a day. I need to follow up with 5 past clients a day. I need to have 2 thoughtful send outs every single day. Stuff like that. So measurable activities that you do on a daily basis that have a compound effect to have a very large impact in your business after even a week, a month, 6 months, you name it. Daily activities that you guys put into your business in order to have a compound effect. So I just listed a bunch of them. You can write them all down. Is there anything else that you think that you would want to add into that for a measurable activity?
Like continuing education.
That's exactly what I just said on mute.
I read your mind.
Right? Yeah, you could totally do that. Be like, you know what? I want to do 1 continuing education activity a month. Yeah. Right? Or a week. Right? I mean, I feel like this is continuing education, right? Because I mean, we're all bringing out our ideas. Obviously, there's things that we're talking about that not everybody knows, and then sharing that with other people. Lots of little nuggets.
I think taking care of yourself matters. Like you have to be able to take care of yourself so you can actually put the energy into your business every day.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Like I measure my water every day. It's ridiculous. Who knew that?
And your steps.
You mean you're bubbly?
And your steps.
I think getting out in the community in one way or another to build more relationships and expand your network.
Yeah. That's one of the things that our real estate coaches like talked about a lot, is doing like one community activity a month. And that's like, when you say community activity, it's like you go to a cooking class, you go to a book club, something like that. That's like actually fun, but like you're obviously getting into the community and like building relationships with other people. So that is really good when you're right.
I like that you put it that way because it's less daunting to just show up and do something rather than like you don't have to organize something or do anything particularly
I think
No,
it's like I teach spin, like, and so I get to meet all the people who come to spin. But even if you're just like a regular at a spin class, like make friends with the people there, like have them know who you are and that you're a realtor. Like, don't come to K-Spin because that's my area. Just kidding, but you know what I mean?
Are you
Just
a
like,
K-Spin? I thought I recognized you. Are you?
yeah. Everyone looks so different when they're not sweaty.
Yes,
And if you have
definitely.
makeup on and your hair's done, I don't know who you are. But yeah, I think like I think it's just a matter of finding people, like a community of people that you like. Like if you like climbing, get into with a bunch of different climbers because you're most likely to have a lot of similar personality traits.
Yeah.
And those are the type of people that you are going to want to work with and they're going to want to work with you.
I feel like it's hard in our business because you feel like, oh, well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel guilty about doing things for myself. And so I'm like, I don't want people to think that I'm out playing ball this weekend, right? Like I should be working right now. But at the end of the day, you're actually like, I mean, technically prospecting. Like you're not, I don't say like, hi, I'm a realtor, but like you make friends with these people and then they know that that's what you do for work. And then eventually they ask you questions. Like it happens all the time. So I do feel I have this slightly guilty thing that I need to get over. That's the weakness, guilt as well. But you're right. We need to do things for us that fill our cup, number one. And number two is that, I mean, obviously you're building relationships with other people and you're getting into the community. It doesn't even matter what it is. Heck, you like go to a fishing derby. Like I said, play ball, go to a gardening club, whatever. Okay, anything else or should we move to skills training? So for skills training, I feel like this is like such a big term. I mean, with skills training, like, do you guys, we're going to get into this obviously through the marketing pillars and like how you guys are growing your businesses. But for skills training, do you like role playing for prospecting? Do you work on like how to write different contracts and stuff like that? Jill, help me out. Words.
Different kinds of skill training.
I mean, we do role playing because we obviously
we have done a lot of role playing. Yeah, for sure. But we also actually do this business planning too. Like we touch down on this a couple of times a year and you have it in your calendar for us to do it a few times. For me, I know I have to work on social media. And that is something that I do apart from the team, but
yeah, I do. It's a skill for sure. I mean, like even Rachel, I don't know about for you, but obviously there's a lot of like software that comes out for photography and stuff like that too. So, I mean, I guess like practicing your like editing skills and like all that stuff for skills
I'm
training.
constantly making my team. There's always new ways to do high-end edits. So my edits are very high-end, but I'm constantly making them update their training on Photoshop and everything so that we're always like even the tiniest things on making shadows better for virtual staging. So, it doesn't look like, sometimes you see virtual staging, it looks like it's floating. So stuff like that. Like, yeah, I'm constantly making them upgrade and I do it too. So I can do stuff myself. So like if someone like Skyly messages me and says, this boat sucks, I can on a whim take out a boat. So yeah, I do stuff like that. I wanted just to share this just because this popped up when we were talking about measurable activities and like what Skyly had just said. I just posted a reel. I had something just really amazing happen for me in my company, and I just kind of posted a reel about how I'm really proud of myself. And a realtor who's now my friend just posted a comment that said, I'm so grateful that you approached me when you started your business at a charity poker tournament. I don't even remember doing that. It was in the I do remember, sorry, it was in the bathroom. I couldn't be happier to have a more dedicated, passionate, and kind person help me present my listing at its finest. And she had a whole bunch of other nice things. But yeah, you're right. There you go. That was from a charity poker tournament I was at. Had nothing to do with real estate or my business.
That is so cool. Just like me in the bathroom.
What do you do?
Woman thing right there, isn't it?
Totally. And she's one of my best clients. And she's referred me to everyone all over Vancouver too. And yeah, and now we're friends.
That's so cool. I'm trying to think of skills, but I feel like most of the skills training that we would do in real estate would all be role playing and writing consultations. So you have to like practice your consultations, like your initial consultation for buyer. We have like packages. So we have to like make sure that we know exactly what's on there. I mean, we have to know exactly what's on our contracts because if someone asks you a question, you want to be able to be like, blah, 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 without having to think about it, right? Like I'm thinking of your listing presentation. Do you practice your listing presentation? Do you make changes to it? Obviously, if there are things that you need to add, do you practice objection handling? That's a huge one too, right? I don't know how you guys get leads. We're going to go over this in the future, but we have a website that generates us a lot of leads. We make phone calls in the database every single day. So we practice a lot of those types of phone calls and how to get people to trust us to set up a search with us, start the process from buying or selling.
What about finding ways to be more like, I don't know, sometimes, you know, you can come across really good on text message and then you get there and you kind of have social anxiety. Like, have you ever tried to like open a lockbox and it's not working and you're like, oh God, and you know, and you're embarrassed? Like, what about working on things that can help you be better in person too with people?
Yeah,
because
lockbox, I was having a heart attack.
Yeah. So I don't know, even things like meditating can help you with stuff like that. And, you know,
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
On my 11-day streak now of doing
Nice.
three little meditations a day. Just
I love that.
really short ones, but still taking the time to breathe for a minute helps, especially because this business can be stressful sometimes.
I do need that in my life.
Told you do, Skyly.
I know I say it, but then I'm adding extra to my plate and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelming myself more. I just need to forget everything.
Yeah, you can do 3 minutes. It's like, it's easy once you start.
Do you have an app that you're doing, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I use Headspace. Yeah.
And
I like it because every day it will give you like a guide for your day if you like to follow it. Because if you're like me, I get bored easily. So I don't want to do the same meditation. I want to do like a different topic, a different thing. And I like the ones where they kind of talk to you for a little bit first about like what you're going to be thinking about, I guess, or not thinking about when you do finally shut your eyes and take the few breaths. But yeah, I like it because they have, from morning until evening, just like a little an afternoon break or whatever. And then every day you kind of focus on this morning was about balance, just finding balance in your day. And like yesterday was about us all sharing the same life experience, I guess, that we're all, so just, it's grounding. It's peaceful.
That's cool. You know, what's funny though? You say you get bored easily. I was getting gas yesterday and I was thinking about how boring it was. And I was like, man, I cut off filling up. I was like, that's enough. I'm probably and I'm just getting gas. Like, why can't I stand here for 3 minutes? Like,
see, that's something you could do. Because like even in this app, there's ways that you can take those moments and actually really be present in that, whatever it is that you're doing. Like for me, I try to do it when I'm drying my hair, because it's just like, it takes 1,000 hours. So I'm just like, okay, like, what does it feel like? What are the sensations? Like, what's the heat? And just really dialing into that moment and trying to be present, like, even if it's just for a few seconds. But yeah, it's a struggle for real.
Totally. I was like, Cody can fill up the rest of those later.
That's so funny. You're just like, that'll get me there for now. That's too much.
So, anyways, the pump was really slow. And it obviously takes a long, I don't know. I was over it.
You need to get a little motorcycle or something. It's like, off you go.
Okay, so marketing pillars. Done this a few times, like this business plan a few times. And every time we do it, there's only like 3 marketing pillars that I can ever think of. So if there's more that you guys can think of, let me know. The first one, marketing pillars, is like what you use to generate leads or business for yourself. Okay. So, the number one way that we use or that we generate business for like our team is that do lead generation on our website. That's like number one. That's like the number one place where we get all of our business. So that's one of our marketing pillars is our website, lead generation. If you guys don't know about lead generation with like websites, we're going to do a deep dive in that on another session. Honestly, like this was something that I had no idea even existed until I got into this industry. And I'm like all the stuff you can do online. But the website is definitely the number one place that we get all of our leads, and it like pays for itself. I mean, it is an investment up front. It is a little bit of a long haul game, but it essentially pays for itself, which is amazing. So that's our number one marketing pillar, would be the website and lead generation system that we pay for. The second one that we use is our referral program. I don't know if you guys have a referral program, but honestly, that is like, I feel like the referral program is your bread and butter. If you don't have a referral program set up, again, we'll do another deep dive on this, but the referral program, I can't remember the exact statistic that's out there, but I think it was like, it's 10 times easier for you to earn referrals than it is for you to create that one new lead off of your website and to try and convert that one over. If you have a referral program and people are talking about you through word of mouth, it is 10 times easier for you to gain those clients' trust than it is for you to start from ground zero and build them up to be a client of yours. So, I mean, we have to use all resources 100%, but our referral program is like the second place that we store a lot of our energy. That is the second largest place where all of our business comes. There is that one. And then the third one would be social media. If you guys do not use social media at this point, it is massive. It's hard to track how much of an impact social media has because it is also another long haul game. There is a statistic again out there that says that it can take up to 2 years for a lead to actually like convert over from social media. But at the same time, what if someone comes in on your website and they want to know who you are and then they try searching you on social media and you have no social media presence? If you want people to use you, you need to have your face out there. You need people to like and trust you without even meeting you. So social media is the third marketing pillar that we use on the team. And I feel like these are like blankets too, right? Like you guys can use this for any business that you're in. So is there any marketing pillars out there that you guys can think of as to where you would generate most of your business from?
Your sphere.
Yeah, Sphere. I feel like that falls into kind of our referral network, but yeah, Sphere is a big one for sure.
I paid someone to do a good SEO for me, and I used Google My Business, and I felt that running those kind of carousel ads, not even just on, you can do it on Facebook and Instagram, but on Google My Business, Google's big. So having a good SEO and having that platform on Google where people can write reviews about you and stuff like that is big for your business, I think.
It's huge. We just hit 50 5-star reviews for our team just like last week.
Amazing.
Like 100 for this year, but I have had so many people reach out to me and I'm like they'll call me directly and I'm like, oh, like I always want to know. If you guys don't ask this question and you have people reaching out to you, you need to ask them, where did you get my name from? Like, did someone refer you to me? Because I want to send them a thank you card, right? Like, that's always what I say. And they're like, oh, no, like, I just like found you on Google or whatever, right? Like, you always want to know where your leads are coming from so that you can sink your money into the places that people are coming from. And so I've had a number of people reach out and say, hey, I found you on Google, or I stumbled upon your blog website, or right. And then they check out your social media and they see that you're an actual human being and all that kind of stuff. So I think that those reviews are super, super important. If you guys aren't asking for reviews yet, please do yourself a favor and ask for reviews. They're massive.
I have it on the bottom of my email signature. And it just says there's literally a link to go to my Google if you want to write a good review. And most times if I have a good interaction with a new client or even just an old client and they're like, oh, I really liked that email, like they'll guaranteed they go onto it, they see it, they click on it. And that's how I get a lot of reviews, just from emailing people because I have it on my signature.
Yeah.
So that helps too.
Yeah. And you know what we do too, is that because it is hard. Like, I mean, I even have friends who ask me like, hey, can you write me a review? And then you just forget. Yeah. We do a draw for a gift card. And I'm like, I know you had a good experience with us. Please go write a review. You'll get the draw for a $200 GP. No, it's $200. But that's how we got the majority of our reviews on our website, like on Google the first time, was because you ask and they have good intentions, but life gets in the way. And so we ended up running like, hey, we're going to do a draw $200 GP. Can you please like write us a review? We'll put your name in the draw. And then we raffled off $200. I mean, $200. And then I've gotten like 10 leads that have actually bought and sold. And I mean, like that just paid for itself, like what, 25 times over, something like that. I don't know. I'm bad at math. That's my weakness.
And if you want to use social media too, no matter what business you're in, you can always do collaborative you can collaborate with other businesses and then kind of have, like if you post and share this, whatever, you can win it. And you may not be saying anything directly about you as a realtor, but people know you're a realtor, and that gets you more attention onto your site and onto you. And I think that helps. I've done that kind of stuff with collaborating with businesses, and you're indirectly selling yourself.
Yeah, totally.
That's a good one. Yeah.
My real estate coach is harassing me to do freaking YouTube. Hence, we are recording this and this is going on YouTube. YouTube is massive. YouTube is owned by Google. It is like the number one search engine for videos. And honestly, thinking about it, even new generation, I'm not sure about like older generation, but new generation, nobody wants to read blogs anymore. They always want to watch the dang videos. And I can totally appreciate that. I want to listen to an audiobook. I don't want to read the book. You guys, if I tell you I read a book, I'm lying. I have listened to that audiobook on 1.5 speed. Okay. So YouTube is huge. We also need to get on YouTube if you are not on YouTube yet. I know it's adding a lot to your plate. Again, this is where the procrastination comes in and the delegation comes in that we have talked about, because there's all these cool ideas of things that we can do. YouTube is one of those things. It is an extra thing to your plate if you have the capacity to do it, or at least put it on your list for where you want to be in 5 years. These are not all things that you have to do tomorrow. These are things that you want to achieve over the next 1, 3, 5 years. Okay. Baby steps. If you guys have not read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which I think Tony just finished the book, it's impressive. And I mean, let's talk about like weight gaining for a minute, because if you eat too many calories over a course of so many days, you're going to gain weight. And it's a compound effect. You don't think that donut's going to cause an effect to you. But if you do it once a day for 5 days, you're probably going to gain an extra pound. So compound effect, baby steps. Don't overwhelm yourself with all the things that we're talking about. Put it into your calendar of things that you want to achieve. We will slowly check them off. We are running at a time. We have done this for an hour. The second part, we'll do the business self-assessment next week. If you guys have a 1-year goal, write it down, and it better scare the shit out of you. If it does not scare you, it is not big enough, and you better not write it down. Or if you do write it down and then you're like, man, that's actually attainable, double it. Did you guys want to add anything before we sign off? I hope you guys got some good stuff. Okay?
I want to say thank you for putting this together and for inviting me. Sincerely, lovely. I really appreciate it. And this is really valuable. So thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys for like talking in the videos or like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you end up doing a video or you end up doing like a session and then nobody says anything. And I'm like, I feel like when the whole point is that you're supposed to collaborate, but a lot of times people don't talk. So thank you guys for actually communicating throughout the session, because I feel like it adds that much more value. So write your 1-year goal down and then we will reconnect next Friday.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye guys.
Thanks, Skylar.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. See you.